Hi, this is Marty Leckletter, Product Manager for Forms Experience Builder. In this short demo, I'm going to show you an example of how you can use Forms Experience Builder to address a forecast scenario. It's a common pattern, one where you're collecting information, summarizing that information, and then you're doing it again and again and again. So let's take a look at a forecast example in action. So as a sales rep, I come in every week and I do my forecast. I have the forecast application bookmarked. It pops up in my browser and you can see that it knows who I am. It knows my actuals to date for the quarter as well as my plan number, and my plan's not looking too good, my forecast is not looking too good at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare this forecast for next Friday, and I need to plug in a few more deals here. So the first deal that I think I'm going to close is Acme Corp, and this is going to close pretty soon. And this is a big deal. It's 500K, and it looks like a sure bet. So let's add that to the forecast. And I've got another big deal here, which I think I'm going to close, and this one is with Widgets Inc. And this one's going to close a little bit sooner. And this is a different product line, and this one's going to be for 300,000. And this looks like another sure bet. So I've added a couple deals there. I think you get the idea, you know, how I can build this out and maintain this. Let's go ahead and submit this. So it's telling me that I'm done at this point. So just briefly to take a look at how this would appear if I were to do my forecast on my iPhone. You can see the application formats quite nicely. The same sort of behavior here where I can then plug in my additional deals. But let's now move on and play the role of the manager. So as a manager, I log into my portal every week, and I've got a management summary here that gives me an idea of the total picture. So I can see the forecast for all my reps. Oh, Marty's in here. He just updated his forecast. My forecast is essentially the sum of all my reps, you know, as my plan is as well. And what I'm able to do is drill down on any single rep here and see the individual deals that they're forecasting. So I can take a look at Marty, and I can see the two that he just put in here, which are both sure bets. Boy, I like that. So it's a simple little app, and what's interesting is the management app is it's really not a form. It's not collecting anything. It's just simply summarizing and reporting information, letting the manager drill down. So let's go take a look at what's under the covers and how these applications are tied together. So here I'm looking at the rep forecast application, and it's really quite simple. I've got the rep name, which gets pulled in based on the user ID. I've got some actuals and plan numbers, which get pulled in from a back-end service. And then I'm calculating the forecast update based on the additional deals that the rep expects to close, and those get entered into that particular table there. So let's take a look at the two services that really kind of make this application work. And the first service that I'm going to take a look at here is the user information. And this one's quite simple. It's no input. It's my ID is actually the input that I log in with, and the output is simply just a rep name. Now the other service that I want to take a look at here is the service that retrieves the plan and actual information. So if I take a look at that one there, the input in this particular case is the rep name, and then for the particular rep, what it's doing is it's pulling out the plan and actual numbers and loading it into the application. So that's very straightforward and fairly simple to wire up. Now if we take a look at the manager application, this one also is pretty simple. It has really two key tables. The first key table here is one that pulls in all the forecasts from the various reps. So this is a service call to the forecast application that pulls that in, and I'll show you that in a bit. And then the other piece of this application that's interesting is the detailed table. So essentially the way this works is that you pick the rep, and based on the rep it's going to make a call and then pull in the details for that particular rep. So the service calls again are quite simple. The first one is tied to a table, so the on-show event with the table is actually doing this call to the forecast application. No inputs because I want data for all the reps, so it just simply takes all the data and loads it in. Now the second service call is tied to this drop-down, and that it's got a couple events that it's tied with, and here I've got on show. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting a list of the reps. You can imagine if you had 15 or 20 different reps, you don't want to maintain that. You want that to come in dynamically from another source. In this particular case, you just simply go look at the database or the other application and get that information on who the reps are. And then the other part of this is when I pick the rep, so this is on item change, this particular event, it's using the rep name for the input, and then the outputs become all the details about the different deals that the rep is forecasting. So that allows me to pick the rep and then drill down on the details for that particular rep's forecast. So that's really kind of the key pieces that make this thing tick. I do have some interesting table calculations in here. So if I take a look at the forecast update as well as the plan update, you can see a table sum here. It's just looking at the forecast update column in the table for all the reps and summing that. Same with the plan update. So this is a table sum, etc. So with some service calls, some calculations, I'm able to put together something that is quite exciting and interesting with Forms Experience Builder.